you doing? Welcome to the new season of Web Dog. This week on the show we're going to do a little bit of spring cleaning because, stuff's probably been in the basement for a couple months. Before you start playing you want to make sure everything's in good condition, so let's just get right down to it. So the first thing that you want to do when you're doing spring cleaning is get all your things together that you're going to need to repair equipment and just get things up to operational speed. Just get some tools together, some screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, some fluffy swab tips, dry paper towel, some wet paper towel, and of course, thinking juice, available at your fine retailer near you. And if you're in the mood to, you can also get an advanced airsmithing tool. Now the first thing that you're going to check this year is your safety equipment. Check your goggles first and foremost. What you're checking for is to make sure that your straps are still in good condition and they're not frayed or stretched way too much. Also check the foam and check the actual frame of the goggle itself. If you're looking for tears and cracks and other nasty things that'll just kind of make your paintball experience just kind of bite. The second thing we're going to check are your lenses. You want to make sure your lenses don't have any cracks in them or any scratches or anything that's going to possibly blow apart on the game. Even if your goggles only have slight little cracks in it like these, you don't want to use them. It's really basic. Why? I mean, you only got one pair of eyes. Is it really worth risking them? Now the second thing we're going to check on our spring cleaning checklist are your air tanks. What you were checking for is check the threads, make sure that there's no excessive damage on the threads. Check the pin while you're at it just to make sure that there's no gunk in the way and stuff happens. But the most important thing you want to check for is the born-on date, also known as the hydro date. What this is a little date that's imprinted on the tank right about here. That'll tell you the year and the month that this tank was created. Now steel tanks have to be checked every 5 years. Fiber wrap tanks like this one have to be checked every 3 years. Now there are some exceptions to the law depending on the circumference of the tank, but if your tank is over 5 years out of date, it's a good idea to get it checked anyway. Now we get to the fun stuff. Take out your paintball gun and you want to just give it a look over. Make sure that it's clean. You did clean your stuff before you put it away, right? You want to take a slightly damp paper towel and just give everything a wipe down. You want to it's not just taking the dust off it and making it look nice. You're actually kind of giving it a little bit of TLC and it also gives you a chance to look everything over. Now something else that you really should do at this point is you want to take apart your hoppers and check your batteries. This is a good time to do that, even though you're probably going to do it about 5 or 6 times throughout the year. Make sure you got nice fresh batteries inside of your hoppers and everything is going to be better for you. Now something else you want to do too is check the battery on your e-gun. Make sure it's fully charged before you go out there. I mean, if you can't remember the last time you charged it, you probably need to charge it. Then you take it apart. See, what you're doing is you want to take apart your paintball marker because you want to check all the seals and you want to check everything that moves. Make sure everything's in good working condition. It all still works the way it's supposed to work. You also want to check things like hoses and lines and things like that. Make sure that the ends are still okay. Make sure that there's no obvious tears or rips or anything like that inside of your equipment. Because the last thing that you want is a breakdown on your first day of play, because that can pretty much ruin your day. Now you see, here's where having one of these little Q-tips comes in handy. Because, those big squeegees are great for cleaning out most of the paintball gunk, but you really need a small tool like this to get into little things like power feeds, little remote lines, small things like that. This might look like a little bit of tedium to you, but, a clean gun is a happy gun. And I like keeping my paintball guns as happy as I can. Anybody that references the John Lennon song, "Happiness is a Warm Gun," you've pretty much got me beat right there. Now once you have the paintball gun apart, it's a good opportunity to oil all the internals. Matter of fact, it's a good idea to do that anyway on a regular basis, but especially when it's just been in storage. There's also a good opportunity to take out your barrel and take a pretty good look at it. Make sure that it's not really, really damaged. Make sure the threads are still good, or whatever it's held on with. And make sure you don't have any paint sludge still on it. Kind of like I've got on this one. Well, I've got a sink and I'm not afraid to use it. Hang on. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty now, so kind of bear with me. We're getting near the end. What you want to do is you want to take out your playing clothing and you want to check it. You want to make sure that there's no rips or tears in the seams. It's also a good idea to make sure that it kind of all still fits, winter weight, all that other good stuff. There's also a good opportunity to take out some of your other playing gear like gloves and harnesses and pods. Make sure they're all in working order. You want to make sure there's no holes in your gloves or that the Velcro is still kind of tight on your pod pack, and you want to make sure your pods are still in working order too. Oh yeah, that's the one I fell on.
Oops.
Now let's say you got some paint left over from last season. I really would hesitate to use last season's paint, but you know, if you store it right and you get darn lucky, this stuff can last for, well, some time anyway. Also, it doesn't hurt to ask your field owner if you can use the paint again from last year. Most of them aren't going to have a problem with it, but it never hurts to ask. And if you can't use it there, ask if you can use it on the target range or on the chronograph range, you know, just to fine-tune your equipment. And there you have it, your very basic guide to spring cleaning. Now, there's a couple things you can still do. I mean, there's parts that you can replace, or you can buy new stuff, but that's up to you. Ultimately, in the end, once you get the basics down, then all you need to do after that, kick back, take a load off with your favorite paintball magazine, and catch up on what's going on in the world. Ooh, colorful jerseys. Okay, we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Soda's a bad thing if you're going to go on camera. Don't drink a lot of soda and then, yeah.